Public speaking is a soft skill that requires excellent communication skills, enthusiasm, and ability to engage with an audience. Public speakers make presentation to a group, no matter whatever group size is, small or big. Toastmaster prepares you for both. We learn in Toastmaster to be comfortable with all type of audiences. Now let me share the mission of our club. We provide supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Some of the rules of the meeting: the language of the meeting will be English. Keep your mobile switch on, switch off or silent. Keep copy and pen with you. Make notes of today's meeting and have best experience of the meeting. Do not interrupt in between when speaker is presenting his or her views. Give feedback to speakers with right gesture like this or chat in chat box. This motivates the speaker a lot. Well, about the theme of the meeting, it is mysterious and soon it will be disclosed to all of us. Now let me introduce the president of our club. She is very friendly in nature. She is good leader. One can learn a lot from her how to develop good communication skills. She is supportive to all the members of our club. Please help me to welcome Toastmaster Gursifat Kaur Chabra.
Thank you, Toastmaster Nipun, for such a warm introduction. I request you to pray for world peace for 30 seconds. Kindly open your eyes. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. A man saw a cocoon of butterfly. She was struggling, she was progressing, as the man saw that she was trying to get out of that hole in which she was stuck. The man thought that she needs some help. In order to help her, what the man did was he used a scissor and snipped the cocoon, and the butterfly got out of that cocoon. When the butterfly got out of that cocoon, it was very easy for her. But when the man saw, he saw that the butterfly had swollen body, she had shriveled wings, and eventually she could not fly. Why she could not fly? It's a thought to ponder. She could not fly because the metamorphosis could not happen. The natural process could not happen. The man's intention was very good. He was kind enough to help her, but since the fluid of getting from that body to those wings could not happen, the butterfly could not fly eventually. Similarly, in our life, in order to hustle, in order to grow, we need to struggle because that's when we progress. If we are dependent on others for everything, we won't ever progress because we won't make mistakes ourselves. In this week, I literally made many mistakes which happened that I learned from them and eventually struggled and grew. So you need to toil, tussle, and eventually give time to things in your life. And you need to believe in yourself through that process because it's who you are with yourself. And then eventually you will see a little bit change in yourself. So now it's time to get to know people who have been struggling through the fear of public speaking, the fear of public speaking, the struggling of uhs and ums using vivid vocabulary, using hand gestures very gracefully. We will get to know our future Toastmasters, our dear guest. I request you to kindly introduce yourself by telling who you are, what do you do, and how did you came to know about Toastmasters. Let's start with our guest, very first guest, Parminder. Could you please introduce yourself?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Dr. Parminder Bajaj, and I'm working as a professor with one of the reputed institute in Delhi, Management Institute in Delhi. And I have this passion for public speaking, and I wanted to learn public speaking. As I have learned many new things, in my area, My basically interest is in the area of accounting and finance, and I just want to grow in my field in the sense that I want to deliver faculty development programs, management development programs in my area, and on which I'm working also. I mean, I'm learning from different institutes, but I just want that to make the finance subject more interesting, I need to learn public speaking. And how I got to know about this Toastmaster is from internet only, Facebook only.
Oh, that's great. We welcome you to CDTM.
Thank you so much.
We have another guest. We have Mayank Sharma. Could you please introduce yourself? Mayank, are you there? Okay. We have Janvi amongst us. Janvi, could you please introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. Good evening, everybody. My name is Janvi, and I am a former member of Central Delhi Toastmasters Club. I was on a break for a few months as I was busy with my entrance coaching and stuff, but I realized that staying away from CDTM was a very big mistake, and so I am back and I hope to be a member soon. Thank you.
We welcome you back, Janvi.
Thank you.
Also, we have guest Satish. Could you please introduce yourself? Satish, are you there? Okay, we have one more guest, Jupiterus. Could you please introduce yourself? And could you please open your camera too?
No, you aren't audible. Could you please unmute yourself? Yes.
Okay, now it's fine.
Yeah,
Good
it's
evening,
fine.
everyone. This is my first experience with Toastmasters, and I'm currently pursuing my master's in arts in the subject sociology from Jamia Millia Islamia University. And I like the idea of people getting together and learning new things through this community of very empowering people, I think. And I got to know about this club through online forum like Quora. So I was reading about how I can socially network with people in their new friends, and also improve my communication skills in terms of public speaking.
We welcome you to CDTM. We have one of the special guests with us today. She is the district finalist of humorous speech contest. She is also the former president of Delhi Toastmasters. Please help me welcome Toastmaster Shibani.
Welcome, Shivani.
So should I introduce?
Now it's, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you can.
Okay. Thank you so much. That was a flattering introduction already. So hello everyone. I'm Shibani, and I have recently graduated in English literature from Delhi University, and right now I'm preparing for my master's entrance exams. So yeah, and I'm very looking forward to deliver a speech today. So yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you, Shibani. We are all excited for your speech. Now it's time to welcome the Toastmaster of the day, the host of the meeting. He is someone who is an voracious and rapacious reader, a person whose leadership qualities are commendable and I look forward to, who has served 11 times in EC. Astonishing. Please help me welcome DTM Asim with his mysterious theme, themeless meeting. DTM Asim Gupta, over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Gursapat. And once again, good evening to everybody present here. This is the 379th meeting of Central Delhi Toastmasters, and today I have the privilege of being your Toastmaster of the day. Toastmaster of the day as a term, it's a glorified term, it's the Toastmaster lingo for the host of the meeting, which means it's my job to make sure that the meeting goes on smoothly, to introduce you to various aspects of the meeting and the various uh, parts of the meeting, the concerned people involved. Today we have a great meeting lined up. We have 3 incredible speeches, followed by a table topic section, and then we have a general evaluator section as well. So since this is the last meeting before our renewal term expire, I thought, let me do something a bit different. Let me not have a theme. Usually we have a topic, and as the TMOD, I get to speak a lot, and I usually get 10 to 12 minutes of stage time. And I thought today I'd transfer the stage to you, the audience members, as we look back on the last 6 months of our term since March, and it's and what the proper 6 months it has been. So I just like to know from some members, uh, like for the past 6 months, what has been their greatest learning from CDTM, from Toastmasters, in terms of public speaking, and any particular memory that they want to share with us in a quick 1 2 line, 30 seconds max. If somebody wants to share something, I'm sure we all would like to hear that. Anybody?
Yes, I wanted.
Yes, Toastmaster Devant, you have 30 seconds. Go ahead.
Okay, so generally we just give a speech and just we skip the things in the between. We just look at the manual that Toastmasters provides. But I learned most important thing that Toastmasters manual are really rich of all the knowledge that anyone needs to succeed as a good public speaker. And many times we ignore that. So I made it a ritual. I should be reading it anyhow. Should be implementing at least one point. And
Thank you, Toastmaster Devant. That was indeed. Thank you for sharing that experience. That was quite wonderful. Anybody else would like to take a shot at sharing some experience? Toastmaster Gursafat,
Yeah. So I just can't complete in 2 minutes. It
you
will
have
take
30
a,
seconds.
yeah, okay.
Sadly.
It's very less, I would say. I can
Yeah.
write a novel probably on CDTM
Yes.
if I get the chance. I've already written 2 poems.
Yes.
So CDTM has actually given me a lot. Like from being a treasurer to president of the club, it was amazing journey. I've got friends here, learnings, experiences, and that have made me the person who I am today, in short. So yeah.
Friends, I'd like to tell you, and thank you, Toastmaster Gursafat, for bringing that up. Um, and friends, for me, it's not just CDTM, but my entire experience as a Toastmaster. Um, this meeting is particularly special for me because um, exactly 6 years ago today, I paid the membership fee for the first time. So I complete 6 years in Toastmasters. So, and the only reason I keep coming back off and on is very simple. Toastmasters to me is not just a place where you come and give speeches and you get better at communication skills. To me, it's something more. It has always been a place where I can come every week and make mistakes that I would be too afraid of committing outside, mistakes that I wouldn't want to commit because of a fear of judgment. When Toastmasters says that they provide a positive and supportive environment, they are not kidding. They've thought that through. And that's what Toastmasters provides us members, an opportunity to make mistakes without the fear of judgment, without anybody being critical, and everybody is supportive. So at this point in time, I would again very quickly open the floor to the members and ask them, besides public speaking, if they've gained anything from Toastmasters. It could be, friendships. It could be some other benefits that they gain. Just to cap everything off, because it's not just public speaking. And leadership is also a great part of it. So, is there anything you'd like to share?
Asim, I would like to go for this one.
Go ahead, Toastmaster Karanji.
So it's about a year now that I have been the VPPR for the club. And before taking up the position of VPPR, I was someone who was very bad with colors and drawings. I never knew which color combination to use. It took me around like 2 hours to create my first poster. And after that, I took help of around 3 people who helped me with changing colors. That was the status 1 year back in January. And today I am able to create posters quickly, like in half an hour, and I am feeling more comfortable with choosing colors. I'm not perfect yet, but I'm very comfortable in choosing colors and I know how. But this thing has enhanced my creativity a lot in different areas. I created a greeting card for my sister, and whole of that colorings came through Toastmasters learning. This was not something public speaking, but yeah, I definitely gained this one from here.
Great. Thank you, Toastmaster Karanveer. Friends, it's things like these small things. You might think, what's the big deal in creating a poster? But I didn't know how to do that either. Since then, um, I have actually managed to create a successful career, build a successful career out of writing. What started writing speeches transformed into a career, and that's the kind of things that can happen when you use a platform like Toastmasters. And the keyword being use the platform, because it's just like that. You don't get thin just by joining the gym, as I'm evidence, walking, talking evidence of that. But it's how often you go to the gym and how often you exercise, how often you utilize the platform. You will hear a lot of people who will say Toastmasters changed their life and Toastmasters has made them what they are today. But if in any way Toastmasters has improved your life, uh, I would just like to say take a moment and applaud yourself, give yourself some credit, because if you had not invested time and effort in Toastmasters, it wouldn't have worked. So take a moment and let's have a huge round of applause for everyone who's in the room and who, you know, because, and I can't even imagine how much I'm, I'm getting goosebumps right now just being in the meeting with you guys. Um, Friends, over the last 6 months, and sure, this is the last thing. Over the last 6 months, we have globally we have gone through something quite terrible, right? And so I believe that there are certain people in the room that deserve extra credit for being in the EC, leading the club from the front, because we were faced with a challenge and we had to pivot. We had to stop meeting offline, and it's been almost 6 months that we have started meeting online. That is also something that is significantly happened during our time at Toastmasters in the last 6 months. So I would very quickly like to acknowledge all of the people who are in the EC who have worked so hard to make sure that these meetings happen. They happen week in and week out. And for everyone who's participated in those meetings, it Toastmasters works. I said so in my testimonial, and that's all I said, because that's all really that's needed, and it can continue to work for you. And if you're not sure about what I'm talking about, just wait for an hour and a half. You'll see, because now we get into the meatier part of the meeting where I will introduce to you some people who will be critical in taking this meeting forward. Then, like I mentioned, Toastmasters as a meeting is divided into 3 sections. I will very first and foremost like to introduce to you our General Evaluator for the day. His name is Toastmaster Rajendra. He is a member of many different clubs, and the way he oozes passion for Toastmasters and oozes passion for self-improvement, um, it's incredible to witness somebody who devotes that much time to themselves. So Toastmaster Digant, very quickly, just unmute yourself and just say a quick hello to the audience so that they know who you are.
Hello friends, I'm Digant Smith,
Yeah.
General Evaluator for the day, and will be evaluating each and everything that is going to happen to us.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So he'll be watching you like a hawk, like an eagle circling over you. And I personally look forward to his feedback very much. Thank you, Toastmaster Digant. Since Toastmaster Digant, the responsibility in this meeting is very simple. Provide comprehensive and constructive feedback. It sounds simple, but it's complicated. So he has a team of auxiliary role players that I will introduce to you shortly. First and foremost, let me call up the timer for today. The timer for today's meeting is uh, sorry. The timer for today's meeting is Toastmaster Rajendra. He is a CA by profession, and he works towards mentoring and coaching people, helping them to clear the CA exams. He has been introduced to Toastmasters for over a year, and his passion for self development and helping people to grow is something that is really contagious. And um, so I would request Toastmaster Rajendra to unmute himself and explain his role as our timer today.
Thank you, TM Asim Gupta ji, and for a warm welcome. Thank you so much. Yeah, there is one of the famous quote of a Steve Jobs. It is said that the most precious resource we all have is time. So spend it wisely. Good evening, all my Toastmaster friends and dear guests. Today I am playing the role of timer. Well, I will keep watch on time taken by you, and accordingly to that, I will show different color card to you. There are basically three color cards. The first one is green card, the next one is yellow card, and the last one is red card. The meaning of green card represents qualifying time, yellow card represents target time, and red card represents finish time. The time allotted for different sections are as follow. Time allotted for prepared speech is 5 to 7 minutes with 30-second buffering on each side. I will show green card at 5 minutes. I will show yellow card on 6 minutes, and I will show red card at 7 minutes. Time allotted for table topic speaker is 1 to 2 minutes with buffer of 30 seconds on upper side. I will show green card on 1 minute. I will show yellow card on 1 minute 30 seconds, and I will show red card on 2 minutes. Time allotted for evaluator is 2 to 3 minutes with 30-second buffering on each side. I will show green card on 2 minutes. I will show a yellow card on 2 minutes 30 seconds, and I will show red card at 3 minutes. Time allotted for table topic evaluator is 4 to 5 minutes. I will show green card at 4 minutes. I will show yellow card at 4 minutes 30 seconds, and I will show red card at 5 minutes. And the last one is time allotted for auxiliary role player is 1 to 2 minutes. I will show green card at 1 minute, yellow card at 1 minute 30 seconds, and red card at 2 minutes. I would submit my report at the bulletin section. Over to you, Toastmaster Asim Gupta.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rajendra. That was quite extensive and very helpful. Uh, since moving on, let me now introduce the language evaluator of the meeting. His name is Toastmaster Nipun Ahuja. He is an associate professor at an engineering college, and his penchant for learning is something that um, makes him fun to be around. He'll always inspire you with new facts and new information, and that makes him very interesting to talk to. Take my word for it. He has been a part of Toastmasters since March 2020, so it's been 6 months. And so I would request Toastmaster Nipun to unmute himself and explain his role as language evaluator.
A warm welcome. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. I am Nipun Ahuja, and I am language evaluator of today's meeting. Language evaluator plays an important role helping all club members to improve their grammar and vocabulary. I am having two responsibilities: all the new word of the day, keeping track of language spoken by each. The word of the day is cachinnate. The meaning of the word is to laugh loudly or immoderately. To remember the word cachinnate, remember the Bollywood hilarious movie Chachi 420. This word resembles with cachinnate, and it is a hilarious movie, and the meaning of the cachinnate is also to laugh loudly. The usage of the word can be like the villain began to cachinnate and twirl his moustache. Seeing show Comedy Nights with Kapil Sharma, I started cachinnate at Kapil Sharma joke. I request every member to use the word as much as possible during the speech. Every time anyone uses this word, I request everyone to show those gesture of thumbs up. I will also be noting good usages and not so good usages of English. I will make a report of language and grammar usage of all speakers. The mode of communication will be English. Any other language if used to translate that phrase in English. I will submit my report when I will be called for an evaluation. Have a joyful meeting. Back to Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Nipun. I would request you to also share the word of the day with us in the chat as well so that people can refer to it. Uh, Next up, we have the filler counter or our counter for the day. She is an avid reader and she is interested in learning new languages. She's been a part of our club for the past 3 months. Uh, please welcome your please welcome your filler counter for today, Toastmaster Claret Barreto. Ma'am, please unmute yourself and introduce your role.
Thank you, Asim, for the wonderful welcome that you've given me. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Oh, thank you. Well, today I'm looking after the R counter. I will note the filler words and also the filler phrases with examples such as, sound like all those kind of sounds, repetitive words and phrases. Also long pauses and short pauses. So these are the main things that I will be looking at. Thank you. Over to Toastmaster Pati.
Thank you, Toastmaster Claret. Next up, we have the parliamentarian for today, Toastmaster Pooja. She has been working as a PGT Commerce in a school for more than 15 years. She's recently joined Toastmasters. It's only been a month and a half. During that time, she has won certificates at the club level for various auxiliary role players, such as the Language Evaluator and the Joke Master. Today, I would invite her to unmute herself and explain her role as the parliamentarian today. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Asim. One must keep one's goal in sight and work towards reaching it, and it can be developed by working in a systematic manner. Good evening, my fellow Toastmaster. I, Toastmaster Pooja, is a parliamentarian for today's meeting. I request you all to abide by certain guidelines for the meeting. First, make sure that your mic is on mute once you have spoken. Second, please keep your mobile phone on silent mode or switched off if you are taking the meeting from the laptop. I give you 10 seconds to do so. Third is avoid crosstalks during the meeting. And the last but not the least, avoid using negative references relating to caste, gender, and politics. The more disciplined we become, more smoother will become the flow of the meeting. I will submit my report at the end. That's all from my side. Over to you, Toastmaster Asim.
Thank you, Toastmaster Pooja. That was very well explained. Next up, we will meet the listener for the day. He has been again associated with the club for a month and a half. And in that time, what he really appreciates about Toastmasters is that the platform provides him the opportunity to address a live audience. And to him, that's the best part about being a Toastmaster. So I will invite Toastmaster Saurabh to unmute himself and explain his role as the listener for the day. Toastmaster Saurabh, could you please unmute yourself?
Yeah. Thank you, Toastmaster Steve Gupta, and welcome to all Toastmasters and dear guests. Good evening, everyone. Today, I want to share a story. One of my friend, who is a TV interviewer, had the privilege to meet with amazing people, legendary people through his speaking assignment, and finally got the lifetime opportunity out of 100 people.
Okay. Toastmaster Saurabh, you'll have to.
Yeah. Can I start it again?
Yes, please.
So today I want to share a story. Uh, one one of my friend, who is a TV interviewer, had the privilege to meet with amazing people, legendary people, through his speaking and assignment, and finally got the lifetime opportunity out of 100 people to meet with Mr. Amitabh Bachchan in this assignment. She is so excited to meet him and made a list of questions she want to ask. So if you have 30 minutes with one of the biggest superstar of the country, you want to get as much as you can out of the meeting, right? So when she met Mr. Bachchan, she
It seems he has been having some connectivity issues. That was indeed an interesting story, and we will get back to you. Seems like a lot of you are looking forward to Amitabh Bachchan's reactions and whatnot. We will get back to that. Uh, Basically, what the listener does in the Toastmasters meeting is they're supposed to uh, listen actively to everything that's going on in the meeting. Based on that, they will formulate questions. They will ask you 4 or 5 questions. Then their turn comes, and you're supposed to answer them. And you might just get a reward. That's up to the listener, what he has in store for you. But we'll see him again in the third section of the meeting. So don't worry, we'll get to the story. I'm also very excited. Uh, Next up, we have the joke master, because what is a Toastmaster meeting without any humor? Uh, she is again a fairly new member to the club, only been a part of the club for 1 month. She's a marketing professional with over 2 years of work ex as in project management, and surprisingly, she's also an MBA candidate, like a couple of people here. So again, Toastmaster Akriti, requesting you to unmute yourself and tickle our funny bonus.
Thank you, TMOD. Hello everyone. I am here to catchinate.
Akriti, you're unmute.
Oh, am I audible now?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry for that. Good evening, everyone. I am here to catchinate everyone with some witty jokes and fill positive energy into this virtual room. But before that, I'd like to share with you all my New Year resolution for 2020, which was to reduce 5 pounds, and I think it is going pretty great. Only 10 more to go, so I think that is online. And I never honestly thought that I was the kind of person who would get up in the morning early to exercise, and as it turns out, I was pretty right about myself. So instead of losing weight, I have decided to see people from distance to appear sort of thin. So life is tough, guys. But I think I should end it here because our speaker today has a history of discontinuing several long talks on account of people's throats, in the sense of threatening to cut it. So thank you for your patience. You have been an amazing audience. You stayed. Thank you. Back to the CMOD scene.
Thank you, Toastmaster Akriti. Friends, humor doesn't come naturally to me. People who have been a member of this club for a long time, they know that they've suffered the brunt of it, and I thank them for that continued support. That's what Toastmasters is all about. Uh, so this is your team of auxiliary role players, and now very quickly we will jump into the first section of the meeting, which is the prepared speech section. In this section, um, there are three speakers, each of whom have prepared their speeches. They worked hard on their content. They've rehearsed it, and they have 7 minutes of time to present what they have to us. And to reward their effort, I have just one request. If there's anything that you like, anything that you think they can improve, even if it's just 1 point, even if it's just one point, make sure that you let them know. Give them some constructive feedback so that when they go back home, they can work on it. And when they come back, they can entertain you even more and they can be even better. You're doing this for your own good. You'll get to listen to your even better speakers. So be selfish, give some feedback to people. Um, so first and foremost, I would like to invite the first evaluator, the dedicated evaluator for the first speaker. Toastmaster Rini has been a part of this club for over 3 years now. Uh, she has a long list of accolades at the contest level, the most recent of which is a representation of the club at the area level in what I believe was the evaluation contest. Let me just check once again. So sorry. Yeah, Toastmaster Rini very recently went to the ISC contest. Sorry, it was the ISC contest in 1920. So I'm really looking forward to this one. Toastmaster Rini, please unmute yourself and read out the evaluators, the speech objective for Toastmaster, for your target speaker.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Wasim, for that introduction. Just a correction. My latest one was area contest last year. ISC was last year again. This year I wasn't that active. But anyways, so we have an amazing speaker planned, and the objective for the speaker is, the purpose of this project is for the member to present a speech on any topic, receive feedback, and apply the feedback to a second speech. So, and the timer, please note the time is 5 to 7 minutes, and all the best.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rini. I would request all the speakers to, when I ask them to unmute themselves and check if they are visible and audible before beginning their speech. Once you've performed those checks, I will announce your speech title. Sound good? Okay. So your first speaker for today is somebody you've already met. Toastmaster Shivani is a member of Delhi Toastmasters. She has served there as VP membership, VP education, and president quite spectacularly, might I add. And she gave a very memorable speech at the district finals. And so I'm really looking forward to this. Toastmaster Shivani, please unmute yourself and make sure that you're audible and visible.
Am I audible to everybody?
Yes, yes, Toastmaster Shivani, you're audible. Okay. So, Toastmaster Shivani, the dining table conversation, Toastmaster Shivani, first of all.
Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. I am a literature student. And let me tell you, one of the most fascinating things about literature students is that we love our metaphors. We can literally attach metaphor to anything. And before you dismiss it as a mere folderol, let me tell you that we aren't being just imaginative. Proper research has been gone into this, and then deductions have been made, which have been woven into poems. And we all know that inspiration is always spontaneous. And the other day, while I was taking a walk, suddenly an idea struck me that if my home were a country to run, then the dining room would surely be its legislature. And the magnanimity of this place is not just strategic, but emotional and political as well. And let me tell you how. Now, the dining room, that is the legislature of my country, that is my home, in that legislature, the roles of the speaker, the opposition party, and the ruling parties are not static at all. They are very dynamic. They change with every bill that is introduced in the House. And since I'm not at liberty to speak for anyone but myself, let me tell you my experience at this diplomatic delegation. If not for these dining table conversations, I would not have been a literature student. I would not have been introducing myself as a literature student. These dining table conversations have been the catalyst which has developed my interest in literature. Now let me tell you how. So keeping true to their professions as college teachers, our dining table conversations have always been about this book, that book, how Sanskrit is such a beautiful language, how Socrates was insane enough, and my father, raving about Gunter Grass's Tindra. At that point in time, when I was a child, I used to be very dejected, because the conversation would not flow from my end. My mother would be talking about her philosophy. My father would be talking about his economist. But I did not have anything rather than grandma tales to tell them. But then in the class, I was a very proud kid because I was the only one in class 6 to know about Freud. Okay, I was very proud to know that I was the only kid who knew about Freud. Then after that, even after such intellectual discussions on literature and culture, when I introduced the bill that I want to study literature, I want to do my graduation in literature in class 6, everybody was shocked. And even though the bill was passed with the least opposition, speculation wasn't over yet. And it was my father who came up with the most probable reason behind this. On one such dinner table conference, after pre-dinner deliberation with my mother, he came up with this reason that I had math phobia and it needed serious attention. Now, every word that he said was true. And even the bouts of puking before every math exam did not prove otherwise. But telling that was the reason behind my literature decision was not correct. Even then, I did not want to betray the hopes of the old beguiled couple who thought that they could cure their daughter into choosing a career in engineering or medical. And I let their hope live. Now, my father introduced the bill that I will teach you mathematics, which was passed with no opposition. Now, when I look back towards that experience, it evokes bittersweet memories. Me crying through every chapter, but still getting over my math phobia. But it was always not pleasant at the dining table conversations because the strong opposition that the next bill was about to meet, oh my God, that bill never saw the light of resolution. When I introduced the bill of I want to study abroad last year, it was blatantly rejected by my mother owing to her majoritarian supremacy in the house. And the reasons that she gave for her outright rejection of the bill was, it was too far, and it was too far. And ironically, my mother teaches logic to her students. Only because it is a filial conference, that doesn't mean we do not have our share of foul play. Obviously, we do not throw chairs at each other, but we can get very nasty with our words. Of late, the roles in the dining table conference has become quite static. My mother is the speaker and my father and I are the debating parties. The other day, after a much heated fight over privileges, my father told me that I was trying hard to be a communist so that I could fit into the JNU-DU crowd. However, tensions are smothered quickly by apologies, often followed by bouts of laughter. And then it's the same dining table conversations again about Socrates, about Freud, about books, about literature, about culture. And this time, I am not silent as well. I contribute my part as well. And I correct their pronunciations. I add more onto the knowledge of Freud and literature and culture. And Mahabharata as well. I get to know how intelligent my parents are, and how they are like any other student and how they were like any other student during their college times. My mother lying for her best friend, my father sneaking out of his hostel, or how, there were one-sided love stories even then, and how my father himself was a communist student leader. In my family, we have taken important decisions, shared stories, fought and complained everything over a meal in the dining hall. And that is how we have built a culture between us, which is incomprehensible to any stranger. And that makes that culture even more special. The other day, they even unanimously crowned me the best chef of the house. Days when I'm away, I feel like that I am missing out on so many things, missing out on hearing their stories and missing out on a chance to even tell them mine. With the society moving towards a faster pace every day, we should endeavor to promote dining together as a healthy ritual. In these trying times, especially if we have the privilege of a safe space in our family, we should make these relationships even stronger. Ditch the series that you have been planning to watch while you are eating. Set the table, serve the food, and talk away while you eat. Remember, historic decisions are just a meal away. Thank you.
That was fantastic, guys. If you're liking this, if you like the speech, let Toastmaster Shivani know. It was a wonderful speech because humans are really the product of their environment, aren't they? It's not just who you spend your time with, but how you spend time and what you do with your time. When she was speaking, I was immediately reminded of the Poglar sisters. For those of you who do not know, they're three sisters, they're chess prodigies, and the only reason behind their success, they themselves say, is that they were encouraged to play chess right from the ages of 3, 4, and 5, respectively. And their environment at home was such, that's why they were so rating successes at a time when women in chess were few and far between. Thank you, Toastmaster Shivani, for sharing this with us. Friends, take 30 seconds to give your feedback to Toastmaster Shivani. People have already said that they're loving your speech in the chat. Thank you. And I would request Toastmaster Karanji to remove Toastmaster Shivani from spotlight. Yeah.
Asim, you are on mute.
Yes, sorry, I was muted by mistake. Let's move on to, in the meantime, while you're doing that, let's move on to the second evaluator for today. Our second evaluator today is Toastmaster Rishabh. He's the former president of North Sparks Toastmaster, and he is one of the best people to have around you in a Toastmasters meeting because the way he speaks and his spirit as a person is tremendous. He's an entrepreneur by profession. He runs a packaging business, and he and I had the privilege to compete at the club level where he outsmarted me. I will remember that. And so very quickly, Toastmaster Rishabh, please unmute yourself and let us know the speech objectives of the target speaker.
Well, thank you so much, Toastmaster Asim, for such a nice introduction. So, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Today's speaker, Toastmaster Rajendra, is about to deliver his Level 3 Project 1. And the purpose of the project is for the member to practice using a story within a speech or giving a speech that is a story. Timer, please note the timing for this project is 5 to 7 minutes. All the best to the speaker. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rishabh. Friends, your next speaker for today, he has been a member of Toastmasters since 2014. Currently, the immediate past president of the club. Toastmaster Rajendra is an entrepreneur. He is running his own HR consultancy. And if there was ever an example that I could give you of what happens when you stick to Toastmasters and how you can change as a person, both personally and professionally, Toastmaster Rajendra would be the example I would give you. So, Toastmaster Rajendra, please make sure that you are visible and audible. Just perform a check while I prepare your speech title. Yes. Toastmaster Rajendra, my amazing story of arranged marriage. My amazing story of arranged marriage. Toastmaster Rajendra. Best of luck.
Am I audible? Hello?
Yes,
Yes,
you
you're
are.
audible. Yes, you're audible.
Okay. So great marriages doesn't happen of the love you had in the beginning, but how well you continue to build the love until the end. People ask, what is the difference between love and arranged marriage? In love marriage, you marry with your own girlfriend, and in arranged marriage, you marry with someone else's girlfriend. Jokes apart, I would like to share the story of my arranged marriage when I meet my lovely wife first time. And that impromptu meeting with her became the turning point of my life. Good evening, Toastmasters, and all married people, and all aspirant of marriage Toastmasters. Arranged marriage is a type of marriage where two wrestling partners are finally chosen by the parents. There are two type of people, those who prefer to do the arranged marriage. Number one, people who failed in love due to any reason. And number two, people who had never get a chance to fall in love. So I was in a second category. I studied in a government boys school and never get a chance to be close to the girls. This process of arranged marriage is very complicated. It happened like this. The parent spread the word to the third parties consisting of a family member like uncle, aunt, brother-in-law, colleague, neighbors, marriage brokers, or the matrimonial website. Even now these days they apply the power checkup. So my parent had searched after some sitting operation and the deliberation with my relatives, they chosen a one girl based on the caste, height, weight, color, gotra, family status, job status, and of course, finally the recommendation and get in to meet my prospective future partner. 20 years back, my parents put the brake on my sweet, dreamy bachelor life. My relative repetitive harassment asking question, when are you getting married? When are you getting married? And I was fed up with this question. And I was tempted to print a tattoo on my arm. Then I am an MBA guy. I am not a numerologist or astrologist, so I can tell when I am getting to marry. I have never resisted to my parents to get the married. In fact, I wanted to meet the girl and I was very happy to get married because I always wanted to marry. Even since childhood, when people ask me, what do you want to become when you grow older, I see I want to become a papa. Because I was very much influenced with my father and I want to become like him. So I would feel crazy when I see the people, those who are going on, especially on two-wheel vehicle, publicly making love, making me crazy. And I thought, when and I'll get a chance to do the same. And one day, God listened my prayer. After careful evaluation of all the proposal, my parent, they have shortlisted one family to visit and to see my opponent. I was informed then I need to be ready by 12 noon on June 1997. The meeting was fixed at my brother-in-law house, which is in BHEL Jhansi. I was flawed and fearful for my first arranged encounter. So I agreed to meet my prospective bride after my parent order and with my wife Kishori. Lot of questions were bothering into my mind. We'll see my arranged marriage will be successful. We'll see will be beautiful. What question I will ask from her, and most important, how could I impress her? And with this thousand of questions into my mind, I reached the venue to meet her along with my parents. The girl was already present there in the room with the goody relatives and the family members. They were again looking and making me more uncomfortable. The girl sat beside me and her newly wedded bhabhi sat in front of me. I thought she is the girl and she started firing the questions like, what do you do? Ab tak tumne kya ukhada? Like this, in this mindset. What is your qualification, etc., etc. By the time samosa and fritters kept on the table, reminding me how hungry I was since morning, and nobody was asking me to take something. And what I believe, you can't move mountain with the empty stomach. And immediately as I asked, I started and I gulped it. And not bothered where is the girl. I just wanted to eat that time. I have answered all the questions gracefully, and her bhabhi asked to meet the girl in private. So she said, why you don't go to the garden? And that was the signal for which I was waiting. 20 pairs of eyes start gauging me and making me uncomfortable. This conversation, how I goes this? So I asked the girl, hello, how are you? She said, fine. So I asked, can you cook, sing, sew? She said, no, no, no. With this three repetitive no, I was furious. And as let me tell you, I am a very fond of long hair. So I was not having any question to ask. So I asked, why you have a hair like Kiran Bedi? This is my first meeting. Any time I was meeting the girl and I have not met anybody. So she said, I want to be a police officer. So I said, police officer? I asked, why you want to be a police officer? She said, because I hate liars and criminals. And she was looking at me like I am a liar and I am meeting the first time with the girl. I said, yeah, what are your hobbies? She said, I like running. So I asked, how fast you can run? She said, even you can't catch me, I can fast. And I said, if I catch you then, and she gave me a beautiful smile. My confidence goes up to see her smile and make me more comfortable with the thought that she has a good sense of humor. And I got here. So she asked me, how do you do? Say, what do you do? I say, I work in a private company. And by the time we become more comfortable with the girl, and she start casinating and say, very funny. I said, do you have any other person to marry? She said, no, not before today. And I said that the girl has a very good sense of humor, and I was impressed with her. And by the time we become friends, and then say, yeah, we can move on. So her sister called her and asked, now come, the time is over. And I wanted to talk more, but unfortunately, with the heavy heart, I have to return back. So what I want to drive the message, because any impromptu situation will become the turning point of your life. You have to respect your parents. You have to respect their decisions, because any decision could be the for your betterment. So according to me, what is the life? Marriage is a three-ring circus: engagement ring, wedding ring, and suffering. And it is also an offering to a blissful and cherished life. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
That was hilarious in one word. I mean, I understand. I am at that age where relatives who don't know me that well have started asking me the same question that people have asked Gajendra sir, and they don't know that I'm in no fit state to do that. But thank you, Toastmaster Rajendra. That was indeed quite hilarious. Friends, take 30 seconds to give feedback to this wonderful, wonderful speech. Yes. In the meantime, let me now introduce to you the evaluator for the third speaker, Toastmaster Ankit. Toastmaster Ankit is a veteran member. He is somebody who has the mind of a storyteller and the heart of a poet. Don't take me at my word. If you ever meet him, ask him to recite one of his poems, and I can assure you, you will fall in love with his poetry. So please welcome Toastmaster Ankit. Toastmaster Ankit, please read out the speech objectives of the target speaker.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Asim. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay. So today, Toastmaster Nitin Gautam is going to present project number 3, Connect with Storytelling. The path name is Innovative Planning. What he's going to achieve today, rather present today, is purpose is to practice using a story within a speech, or giving a speech that itself is a story. Time is as usual, 5 to 7 minutes. All the best, Toastmaster Nitin. I hand over stage back to our team audience. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster Ankit. Friends, gear up for your third and final prepared speaker of the evening. Toastmaster Nitin is been a part of a club since March 2019. He's currently serving the club as the VP membership. He's an engineer by qualification and is also going to pursue his MBA very soon. So, Toastmaster Nitin, could you please check if you're audible and visible?
Hi, Asim, am I audible?
Yes. Great. Okay. So, Toastmaster Nitin, impossible is just a word. Impossible is just a word, Toastmaster Nitin.
Success is no accident. It is hard work, perseverance, learning, studying, sacrificing, and most of all, love of what you're doing or learning to do. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. Everything takes time. The Rome was not built in a day. Success is all about thinking, planning, and executing those thoughts into the actions. It is a combined effect of mental and physical labor. No matter whatever your current situation is, if you are mentally tough, then everything becomes easy. And if you are mentally easy, then everything becomes tough in life. So, dear Toastmasters, let me tell you an inspiring and motivating story of my friend Naman Singh, who made an exemplary accomplishment and worked really hard to fulfill his dreams. Naman Singh was born in a very poor family. He was the only child of his parents. His parents' income was below poverty line. His parents struggled very hard to make both ends meet. His father, Ravi Singh, worked as a coolie in the railway station, and his mother, Sheila Singh, was a maid. His childhood was unlike the other kids. He was not given any single toy in the childhood. He used to cry a lot because of this. He did not wear any good clothing because of his poor financial status. But somehow, his parents gathered enough money and sent Naman to a government school. He then decided to become a well-established person in his life. He was a very intelligent child in the school and used to study very hard with the available resources. He scored enough marks and got scholarship from the school. He was a very serious child in his school days and did not get easily mixed up with the other students. His only focus was on to become a better person, successful person, and earn huge wealth. After completing his school life, he took an admission in a prestigious engineering college. He made many new friends there and became a quite sociable person. Besides studying very hard, he started exploring his areas of interest and hidden talent. The man who was serious throughout his life got his interest in the public speaking. As a result, he joined the Toastmasters Club of his college and started working on his communication and leadership skills. Day by day, he was becoming a better and better version of himself. Needless to say that his college life was much better than his school life. Because of his superior capabilities and proficient knowledge about the subject, he got placed into a very well-reputed company called Deloitte. He worked there as an assistant engineer and earned huge amounts of money. All the financial tensions and worries vanished away in a very few time. His parents were very proud of him as he was the only one in his family to earn the money by working in a job. But he did not stop there, as he knew he was born to create a history. So after gaining an extensive work experience of 7 years, he thought to start his own startup. He, with the company of his 5 friends, decided to establish a successful startup. The first 3 startups created by them failed miserably and they lost their enormous money. But they did not lose hope, learned from their mistakes, and started creating everything from the scratch. After spending so much of time figuring out what works and what not, and learning the nitty gritty of how the successful startup works, they finally created a successful startup called Quick Cabs. Quick Cabs is a Indian ride-sharing startup that offers vehicles for food delivery, package delivery, and hire throughout India. The startup has already gained a net worth of rupees 1,444 crore, and it offers a very hassle-free experience to its users. And guess what? Naman Singh, that poor fellow, is the CEO of Quick Cabs Private Limited. Isn't it amazing, dear Toastmasters? It was indeed an inspiring and motivating story of a person who made himself from nobody to a well-established, successful startup founder. In this story, Naman's only motivation was to become a successful and a well-established person, as he had seen the struggle, the poverty, and the plight of his parents, his poor parents. And he wanted to achieve something extraordinary, and with his willpower and determination, he achieved it. Impossible is just a word. Everything is possible if you believe in yourself, fully commit to your goals with utmost dedication and sincerity. And as Eleanor Roosevelt correctly said, that the future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. On this note, I would like to end my speech. That's all from my side. Back to Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Nathan. That was very nice speech. Certainly inspiring. Friends, again, take 30 seconds to give one commendation, one recommendation to Toastmaster Nathan. Much appreciated. And immediately after that, I would request Toastmaster Karanveer to launch the poll for the best speaker. So with this, we come to the end of the prepared speech section. As promised, 3 amazing speeches, and I hope that you had some takeaways for yourself. And congratulations to all the speakers on completion of their projects. I know everyone has worked hard, so be proud of yourself. Now, let's move on to the second section of the meeting. That's the table topics section, also known as the impromptu speaking section. Certainly something some people love, some people don't, but it's definitely fun. So first and foremost, let me introduce to you the table topics evaluator, the person who's responsible for evaluating each of the table topic speakers. He is currently the VPPR of the club. He happens to be the tech master at all of our meetings at Central Delhi Toastmasters, and he is the person responsible for all the brilliant posters and the social media activity you see from the club's end. So, Toastmaster Karanveer is your table topics evaluator. Toastmaster Karanveer, just unmute yourself and say a quick hello to the audience so they know who you are when they see you.
Hello, everyone. All the very best to all the table topic speakers.
Great. Okay, so let me now introduce to you the table topics master. He is certainly one of the hardest workers in the club. He takes his improvement very seriously. He's been a member of Toastmasters for about 6 months now, and is also is going to pursue his masters from a college in Gurgaon. Please welcome Toastmaster Harshvardhan as your table topics master for the day. Toastmaster Harshvardhan, please unmute yourself and all the best for the session.
Good evening, fellow Toastmaster and dear guests. I, Harshvardhan Sharma, welcome you to the table topic session. Table topic session is a session in which you test the improv, test your speaking skills. There are some wonderful topics and and kindly. I have some wonderful topic. You need to raise your virtual hand and will select the person you need to come up on the stage and pick up the number from 1 to 4, whichever topic you will have to speak on that for 1 to 2 minutes, 30 seconds will be given on the upper side. So first, who will want to come? Yeah.
I'll come.
Yes, those master clear. Pick up a number from 1 to 4.
6.
1 to 4.
Oh, 1 to 4, sorry. 3.
So your topic is if I were a boy, Toastmaster clear.
Well, if I were a boy, there's lots I could do. Maybe learn some of the Bruce Lee kind of karate and jump from one building to another building. And besides that, it would mean also having a lot of adventure, maybe going right up into the Himalayas, trying to climb Mount Everest, try to climb other mountains like Mount Kilimanjaro, then going snorkeling, going diving under the sea and seeing the wonderful fish and the wonderful flora and fauna under the sea. There's lots one would love to do as a boy. Maybe you would be given more freedom to experiment with various kinds of dress sense, maybe, or maybe walk the fashion ramp with some outrageous clothes where you could, have your shorts very short and maybe some shorts with holes. So I think being a boy would be a lot of excitement. Thank you. Over to Toastmaster Harshvardhan.
That was a wonderful speech. Now, yes, Toastmaster Kashish, pick up a number from 1 to 1, 2, and 4.
1.
So your topic is if I were a wall, Toastmaster Kashish.
Yeah. If I were a wall, I would be really stable. If I was a wall, I would be strong enough that no one can replace me, no one can hurt me. If anyone hurts, the person who hurt will get hurt. So if I was a wall, I could also see the people, what are they doing, and the wall which is stable can make anything done. If I was a wall, I would have. If I were wall, I have done something. Watched something people's. I would become a great wall. Especially the Great Wall of China. I would like to become that. So the main focus of me was to become a wall which is powerful enough. So thank you. Over to you, Harshvardhan.
Yes, Munish. Pick up a number from 1 and 3.
3.
1 and 4. Sorry.
4.
So your topic is, if I were a book, if I were a book, Toastmaster Munish.
Book, B-O-O ki book.
Yes.
Good evening, everybody. If I was a book, I want that everybody should read me. Because the people, those who are ferocious reader, they love to read book. And I want that they should, when they're reading, I'm sitting on the lap and they're reading for hours and they are enjoying the reading, but I'm enjoying the comfort in their home. Wherever they go, they take me because I'm a book. I'm so lucky. Sometimes they take their book abroad. I do not have to pay any money. I'm traveling abroad free with them. They have kept their book on the plane. Sometimes they keep the book on the luggage and they take me abroad and they take me to some beaches. They're reading me over there also. I'm enjoying. I'm always with them. I'm watching the beach. I enjoy the beach and they're reading me. They're learning something which is written from the book. They're also learning something from me and I'm also enjoying. And then they bring back, then they come back to the country. They bring me back. Wherever they go, they discuss about me in the parties that they read me a book and they have learned a lot. I am discussed everywhere. So that's why I love to become a book. Because book is your best friend. Everybody leaves you. Your friends, you go and gossip, waste your time. But when you read a book, you enjoy, you learn something. Book is your best friend. And who doesn't want a best friend in their life? If I am a book, people love me. They like my company. They love to adore. They love to discuss about me. I'm the talk of the town that I am this book. And the name of my book is how to stop worrying and start living. From that, people learn something. In the last, I'm going to conclude, book is the best friend of your life, and I would love to be a book. Thank you. Over to the Toastmaster, please.
That was a wonderful speech. Yes, Toastmaster Janvi, you want to come?
Yeah, sure.
So your topic is, if I were a chair, Toastmaster Janvi.
Okay, good evening, everybody. So, if I would be a chair, I would not love, firstly, I would not love to be a chair because I'm really happy as I am. And a chair is something, it's basically a non living being. And being someone who won't be able to express feelings, and I'll be someone on which people would sit for hours and hours, and I would have no option, nothing to express how I would feel. So I would feel really bad to be someone like I express. So I would definitely not want to be a chair. And moreover, I cannot imagine the pain it would cause when someone would sit upon me for hours and hours without realizing, and probably children would bump and jump on me and I would end up breaking one of my legs. So probably I would not want to be a chair. The sole reason is I would be in pain, and even if I would be happy, I would not be able to express myself properly. So I'm just happy the way I am, and that's it from my side. Over to Toastmaster Harshwardhan.
It was a nice speech. So Taima, is there time left for the one more topic?
Sorry, we don't have.
Okay. So I will conclude by saying that I would like to congratulate every table topic speaker who accepted the challenge and gave his or her best. All the best. Thank you. Kindly take master, open the ballot, and please cast your ballot for the best table topic speaker. Thank you. Over to the MOT.
That was that was interesting, definitely. Just let's take 30 seconds to cast your votes. That Toastmaster Karan, please let me know when the voting is done.
Guys, please vote. 5 more votes, please. And it's going to be a tiebreaker.
So, in the meantime, let me just say this, and because it's something that struck me during the session. If you do this activity often enough, if I were a table, if I were a chair, and if I were a wall, if you do these activities, imagining yourself as inanimate objects, you could give inanimate objects life, and you could actually uncover some really funny thoughts, like if I were a chair, if a chair was alive, what would it do? That kind of a thing. If you did, you actually uncover a lot of humor. It's a very popular exercise in improv classes, and that's one of the ways you can actually become a lot more funnier in your thought process, in your speeches, and the way you write as well. So thank you, Toastmaster Harshvardhan, for that wonderful session. Without further ado, I will quickly invite the General Evaluator, Toastmaster Digant. You have met him before. He is, like I said, a member of many clubs, and he has recently joined the club back, which is again to say welcome back, Toastmaster Digant, as a member. And so please unmute yourself and take over as the General Evaluator of the meeting.
Thanks, Toastmaster DTM Asim Gupta. This was really nice of you. And now, everything in this meeting that is happening will be evaluated by me and my team of evaluators and role players. Friends, before I begin, let me tell you one thing. In Toastmasters, evaluation is not like a strict teacher tick marking all the things like and giving you marks and just scolding. No, Toastmasters in evaluation is a constructive, positive, and a friendly feedback on your speech or on your role. So friends, in Toastmasters style, here we begin this evaluation session. So first, let me call the first evaluator to present her report. Let me call on the screen Toastmaster Rini to present her report. Toastmaster Rini.
Yep. Thank you, Digant. So the speaker, well, the title itself, the dining table conversation, gave us an introduction or set a right expectations on what to expect for the speech. In first 30 seconds, I knew that the speaker had a literature background because she had amazing vocab and she had such a strong grasp on the language. She compared her entire speech with metaphors. Can you hear me? Digant, I'm not sure if you guys are.
Yes, we can.
Yes, Rini, you are audible.
Okay, cool, thanks. So the speaker used metaphors, which was a quite unique way to structure your speech. She compared country with home. She compared legislature with dining table, which was humorous and yet very witty and smart. So that was really an intelligent move by the speaker, and I'm quite impressed by that. So kudos to the speaker for that. And throughout the course, I knew that speaker had a very strong hold on over the vocab and over the flow of the speech. She had really strong hold, and her sentences were amazing. The way she spoke, her speech was anecdotal type, so she had a lot of stories to share, which meant which means a great treat for the audience. But apart from that, she had amazing anecdotes for different types of bills or the decisions which happen over the dining table. Like be it from being a literature student to going abroad, and a couple of other decisions discussed on the dining table. If I'm being too critical, I do have a little bit of a recommendation for the speaker. So the first thing was, I think the speaker, although the speech was really good, but I would like to challenge the speaker to practice a little more and not refer to the notes and just be she was confident enough, but I think with just a little bit of practice, it can go to the next level. Apart from that, the speaker used a lot of hand gestures. I feel personally body language is a very strong tool when it comes to giving a speech, and which is why you need to use it really wisely. I would recommend the speaker to use it only where it's necessary, and not we Indians, we do have a tendency to use our hands quite often when we are speaking, which is something we want to improve on. So I encourage the speaker to use the hand gestures wisely. Something in the end, the message was really clear, and something really important at this time during the COVID, where everyone is isolated in their homes, and you might have too much of a family time, but yet the speaker focused on the actual value, which was staying together and having dining together. Although I did feel that the message came at the end, and throughout the speech the message was a little lost for me personally. So I feel the speaker could have given us a glimpse of the message after the first story, maybe after she shared that she's going to choose literature as a major and the opinion of her entire family. I think there she could have added the little, give us a glimpse of this glimpse of the message. But other than that, kudos, the speaker was confident, she had amazing vocab, and definitely she was a literature student, was quite evident from the speaker's attraction. And I look forward to speaker's future speeches. All the best. Thank you. Over to you, General Evaluator. Digant, I'm not sure if Digant's online.
We seem it looks like the gun's network has gone. I would okay, he's back here.
Hello.
Yes, Digant, you are audible.
Yeah, I think Rini completed her evaluation just now, if I'm not wrong. Okay, I got automatically logged out. Okay, so let me call on the screen the next evaluator, Toastmaster Rishabh, to present his report for the evaluation of Toastmaster Rajendra for his speech. Thank you.
Well, this is a pen. If I touch it, nothing happens. If I remove the cap and then I touch it, it really hurts. So people, similarly in a speech which has a story and a story does not have this cap of emotions, then the speech can also become a little bit uncomfortable. But today's speaker, Toastmaster Rajendra Khare, was very much aware about this concept and this fact, and he delivered a perfect speech full of emotions and full of humor. It was completely awesome. I could hear the humorous satires, humorous punches all over the speech. And initially, I could hear his dialogue where he described arranged marriage. And if you are marrying your own girlfriend, then you are doing a love marriage. But if you are marrying someone else's girlfriend, then you are doing arranged marriage, which really hooked up the audience in the beginning. Well, it was a completely descriptive speech where speaker described each and every incident very finitely that happened to him, and his tone was completely satirical that supported his humor. Apart from it, the audience felt connected with the speaker, especially those people who are looking for arranged marriages. And every speech has something good to improve, so I have some recommendation for the speaker too. So I have few recommendation, and the first is dark comedy. I would suggest and recommend the speaker to go for dark comedy or silent comedy. For the people who do not know what is dark comedy or silent comedy, if you are delivering a joke and you are laughing by yourself, it is not a dark comedy. But if you are delivering a joke and only the audience are laughing and you are just calm and simple, this is a dark comedy which creates more impact upon the audience. Further, every story have 5 characteristics, and these 5 characteristics are characters, the characters of the story, plot, the content of the story, setting, where the location where the story happened, conflict, and resolution. Every story has these all 5 characteristics to become a story? Well, the story that speaker delivered was it had only the 3 characteristics, but 2 characteristics were missing. One was conflict and the other was resolution. Now, how could speaker added conflict to the story? For example, in the end, speaker said that I met a girl and she was completely amazing and I liked the girl, but the girl rejected me and I did all these things to impress her later. So the conflict also came and the resolution also came, which create a more impact, a little more suspense, a little more humor to the audience, and the speech could, and it also made the speech a little more impressive and attractive. Apart from this, it was a great speech. Just apply the recommendations and the speech will be just awesome. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much to the speaker and all the best for the future speeches. Back to General Evaluator.
Thanks, Toastmaster Rishabh. Now may I call upon the next evaluator, Toastmaster Ankit Sinha, to present his evaluation report for the speech of Toastmaster Nitin Gautam. Toastmaster Ankit Sinha.
Thank you so much, Mr. General Evaluator. And good evening to all of you. And a very good evening to the speaker of the day, Toastmaster Nitin Gautam. Friends, what a good speech should have? It should have a good plot, engaging content, movement in that content, organization, positive climax. And today, all these elements I can locate in today's speech. All these things were there. Positivity all through the ways. There are 2 toppings of high energy. Energy was here all the time there. The speaker was very confident throughout. He was not using any notes. He was looking straight into the camera. Content was relative. It was something like that where everyone want to be there. That means a successful life. Body language. The speaker was presenting his speech in a standing position. He was not sitting comfortably. That means he is committed to the content. And that was clear from his body language. His hands were constantly moving. That was not an unnecessary movement, but movement with a purpose. So friends, these are some of the commendations. There are very good points for them. Now move on to certain areas where speaker can work, or rather speaker, if speaker work in these areas, his speech will reach to some other level. First and very important thing is pauses. It's really important. If a speaker has listened to some of the famous orators, they pause, speak, pause. So it is very, very essential. Your pause communicate more than your words. So I believe pauses could have been effectively utilized. Next thing is that since it was the project objective was to practice a story in a speech. And when you are practicing a story in a speech, so story should have some basic element, like it should have vivid imagery. We cannot present it like some essay kind of thing, that he was this, he was that. There should be some characters, that firstly the character was doing this, then he was doing that, and there's a movement. Through that movement, speaker can connect with the audience. These are some curves. Second thing is that it is not necessary to cover the whole life of a particular person. A speaker could have covered a small portion and can work and present in an emotional or in some other style. All in all, I can say speech was very well prepared. Speaker was full of confidence. He was right onto the point. He completed full circle. He started that what a successful person should do, how his character started his life, and where he reached. So that means full circle was there, and that too was synced with this project, rather speech message. If I have to remember, rather I can say I will remember this speech from rags to riches with a properly delivered and in his style story. So over to General Evaluator.
Thanks, Toastmaster Ankit, for such a nice evaluation. Now let's have the table topic evaluator, Toastmaster Karan Singh, present the table topic evaluation.
Thank you so much,
Toastmaster Karan.
Toastmaster Digant. A very good evening to fellow Toastmasters, and a very special good evening to everyone who took up the courage and raised their hand and said, yes, I want to come up on the stage when they were asked for table topics. Friends, table topics is an art, it's a skill to be learned, and it's definitely daring. The first speaker we had today was Toastmaster Claret, and her topic was If I Were a Boy. She rightly jumped into it. She started telling what would she do if she were a boy. She started first with the basic things like she wanted to do something in sports, and then eventually she moved on to the freedom part, the things that specifically boys seem to have more. And at the end, she summarized it in one single word, which was being a boy will be an excitement for me. That was a great job done in terms of structuring your speech, Toastmaster Claret. One thing that I would recommend you to is, since you had 1 more minute remaining, so you could have expanded on the part where you talked about freedom. You could have slowed down, thought about that part where you were talking about freedoms which boys get, because there is a lot of content on in that area, and I'm sure the speaker surely has something to tell about it. Our next speaker was Toastmaster Kashish. Toastmaster Kashish's topic was If I Were a Wall. Now he started immediately with a bang. He started telling how he wanted to be strong and stable. The one hooking line which he told in first 15 seconds were, I want to be a wall because no one can hurt me. Now that one line was a hooker. That's an amazing way to start any speech and get the audience attention. So job well done, Toastmaster Kashish. When you moved on to your speech, in the middle of the speech, you kind of struggled to find new ideas. One thing that I would recommend the speaker here would be to use the ideas which you already had spoken. For example, this no one can hurt me idea. So you spoke this line and then you jump to the next idea. So you can elaborate the single idea and cook a whole story around it, since you had 1 more minute remaining. Other than that, it was a job well delivered with that hooking sentence. Toastmaster Manish. Toastmaster Manish started very confidently. He's full of energy. His fluency was visible, and the topic was If I Were a Book. He started telling about the kind of behavior he would expect if he were a book, a physical object. And he did it really well. He hooked all the audience around by telling the things he would do, the traveling, the teaching, and etc. Other things. His hand gestures were very attached to what he was speaking. One thing that I would recommend Toastmaster Manish would be to slow down in the middle, because somewhere he was repeating the content and maybe he can talk about what kind of book he wanted to be. Slowing down and thinking always helps in continuous audience attention as well as producing good content throughout your table topic speech. Our last speaker was Toastmaster Janvi, back with a bang. If I were a chair, she started very humorously, connected all the areas very well, and at the end summarized it really well. She told us about a different perspective than we were expecting. She said, I don't want to be a chair. And she told the valid points why she doesn't want to be a chair. Toastmaster Janvi, I would challenge you to add a small anecdote or a story, since you also had 1 minute remaining in your speech. Otherwise, you were amazing in your speech when you started humorously and summarized it really well. You connected everyone in the audience really well. So friends, at the end, I would like to say that again, table topics is an art. It's an impromptu conversation that we can practice every day. We can always take up table topics and talk to our friends. Not just that, we can start having random conversations with the friends and somehow we'll improve. One little activity that I can suggest is to take your time and express whatever you see around you. Now, expressing whatever you see around you will help you to connect your thoughts to your words. Connecting your thoughts to your words helps in easily putting your words into a speech when you're on stage. That was all from my side. Great job done, all the table topic speakers. Looking forward to see you rise and shine. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thanks, Toastmaster Karanveer, for such a nice evaluation with good observations. Now, may I know if everyone of the evaluators are qualified or not?
Yes, all are qualified.
Can we have the poll for best evaluator? Tech Master, please note if we have 15 seconds, how much time has elapsed? Can you tell me? For poll?
15 seconds have gone and 70% people have voted. I would request everyone to vote. 5 more votes pending.
Okay, sorry, please repeat how much time?
Yeah, second you can move on.
Okay,
Yeah,
I think we
you can move.
Yes.
Okay, so now let me invite the first auxiliary role player for the meeting, Toastmaster Nipun Ahuja, the language evaluator, to deliver his report. Toastmaster Nipun Ahuja.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Let me submit my report. Well, the word of the day twice have been used, and let me share some of the good usages. The some of the good words like metamorphosis, legislature, magnanimity, catalyst, speculation, foul play, plight, veteran. Some of the good phrases were three ring circus, success not accident, topping of high energy, flora and fauna, rise and shine, mind of storyteller, heart of poet, nitty gritty, hassle free, and goody goody. Some of the not so good uses, someone use uh, who will want to come. It should be who would want to come. When we are actually when we are actually requesting someone, we should be polite and it should be like you who would want to come. Second, someone used if I was a wall or book. It should be if I were a wall or book, because when something is not true, we use if I were, not if I was. And some of the jargon words were गोत्र, अब तक तुमने क्या उखाड़ा, समोसा, भाभी. And uh, we to improve our grammatical skills, we should read more and more and get a grammar manual with us and review our basics and practice more and more. We should listen to others also, and we should write more and more. And when we develop these habits, our grammatical skills and language improvement will happen. Thank you. Back to General Evaluator.
Thanks, Toastmaster Nipun, for your report. Now let me welcome on the screen the R counter for the meeting, Toastmaster Claret, to deliver her report. Toastmaster Claret, you are on mute.
Okay. Thank you, Toastmaster Vigan. Well, today's speakers were very enthralling and I enjoyed every bit of it. Our first speaker, Shibani, she has been repeating phrases like I have not been introducing. At that point in time, she repeated twice, once, one short pause, and the I was repeated, I and this were repeated twice. Then moving on to Toastmaster Rishabh, he had mentioned initially twice. And moving on to Toastmaster Rajendra, there was just one short pause that he used. Toastmaster Ankit Sinha also used one short pause. Sunil, who was the Toastmaster, table topics Toastmaster, he spoke about a book he repeated about 2, 3, sometimes even 4 times. Janvi repeated so probably many times. And last was Winnie, I think, who repeated twice and the 3 times. That's all for now. And now back to Toastmaster Vigan.
Thanks, Toastmaster Claret, for your report. Now, let me have the parliamentarian for the meeting, Toastmaster Pooja, deliver her report.
Thank you, Toastmaster. Meeting was very well conducted and not many problems that I have found. Mic was on mute when somebody has spoken, and we have not heard any phone ringing in between the meeting. And it is also observed that nobody has used any negative references. But my only recommendation is that we should all try to find a peaceful place where we cannot find any disturbance from the back. That's all from my side. Thank you. Over to you.
Thanks, Toastmaster Pooja, for your report. Now, let me have on the screen the timer for the day. Toastmaster Rajendra present his report.
Yeah, am I audible to you? All
Yes,
of
you
you?
are audible.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, General Evaluator. Once again, a very good evening to all Toastmaster friends and dear guests. Now I am presenting my report. So here are the reports. Time taken in prepared speech sections. Just I want to confirm, am I audible now?
Yes.
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 Okay, thank you so much. So Toastmaster Sivani took 7 minutes 5 seconds. Toastmaster Gajendra Khare took 7 minutes 29 seconds. Toastmaster Nitin Gautam took 6 minutes 1 second. In table topic section, TTM table topic master took 9 minutes 15 seconds. Toastmaster Claret took 1 minute 17 seconds. Toastmaster Kassis Jain took 1 minute 9 seconds. Guest Munish
I think there is a video problem on his side. Toastmaster Rajendra.
Toastmaster Digant, I'll try and get him back. In the meantime, let's go to the listener report.
Okay. Now, let me invite on the screen the listener for the day, Toastmaster Saurabh, for his session of listener.
Thank you, Dijant Mittal. Once again, good evening to all Toastmasters and dear guests. So now time for questions. So the first question is like the as per Gajendra Khare, which type of people do arrange marriage? Like sir talk about love versus arranged marriage. So which type of people do arrange marriage? Yeah, Nitin, tell.
The one who cannot find the love of their life, they has to marry their someone else's girlfriend.
Right, and the second one,
The love marriage, they
the
can
which type of people do arrange marriage?
that I don't know to be.
The second one would be who never got the chance to love someone in their lives.
Right. So the I again repeat it. Basically, it's one is who failed in love, and the second one is who never get a chance to fall in love. So the next question is, as per Nitin, how much money Naman made in startup?
We have
Obviously,
Toastmaster Akriti raising her hand.
yeah.
Yeah, you meant how much money is startup raised, right?
Yeah, right.
I think it was 1444. Maybe I don't remember whether it was crores or something like that. It was 1444.
One, two, right.
1000 it was 1800 crore, I believe.
No.
Yeah, it was 1444, sir.
Okay, 1800 crore.
It's
Turnover.
1444 crores.
Oh. I
Uh,
have
th-
exceeded the turnover.
thank you all for carefully listening and giving the answers over to Tijan Mittal.
Digant, you're on mute.
Yeah, sorry, there was a minor technical glitch. So, are we having Toastmaster Rajendra now? Toastmaster Rajendra, are you okay on your communication?
Yeah, I'm okay. Sorry for technical glitch.
Please present your report in a crisp manner. Okay? Yeah.
Yeah, the report was only last part was left. That is was auxiliary role player. So Toastmaster Nipun Ahuja took 1 minute 44 seconds. Toastmaster Claret Biloto took 1 minute 2 seconds. Toastmaster Pooja Kharwane took 45 seconds. And that was, yeah. So that was a report from my side. Thanks. Thank to all of you. And over to General Evaluator Digant Mittal.
Thanks to all the auxiliary role players and all the fellow evaluators. Even I am also an evaluator, so they are like my fellow team members. Now here is the time for my report of general evaluation. I noticed the meeting started on time, and which is actually a brand value of our CDTM club. So apart from
Digant,
this,
sorry to disturb, but can we?
sorry,
Digant, sorry to disturb, but can we have a ballot for best auxiliary role player?
sorry, I apologize.
Ballot for best auxiliary role player.
Should we have the ballots for the best ox role player? All right. Meanwhile, I will be continuing with the report, and all the people will be going ahead with the voting part. I noticed that Sergeant at Arms can be a little bit more enthusiastic, as Sergeant at Arms is the officially the first person from the club who is going to be there in front of audience. So an energetic start is really needed. Like a little bit more enthusiasm is required. I think. Now coming to the presidential address, I must say she really, I noticed that she really gave a motivational address related to struggle. And this is a presidential address that I will remember whenever I am also feeling any struggle. However, I have one suggestion that expression can be little more energetic, since the struggle is there and we are motivating people to face a struggle and enjoy it and get over it. So an energetic tone is really required so that people feel that urge to manage the struggle. But I must say that the response to guest introduction was really good. I noticed that after every guest introduction, Madam President was actually responding to their introduction very well, which actually enhances the value of introduction as well as strengthens the connection of the guest with the club. Now coming to Toastmaster of the day, he had really, I would say, a unique theme, I can say, because it is a clean slate, and a clean slate means an invitation to creativity. Have you ever seen a blackboard is there? If it is completely empty, you can draw anything. But if it is full, you will look for anything to write on. But I have a suggestion for him that little bit energy here is also required. What I suggest to Toastmaster of Day are 2 points. First, I would like to suggest that he can actually connect with all the audience also. He can invite the he can invite answers from audience regarding various things. How are you feeling? Like he can just say that, okay, I want an answer from from the people in audience, that how many of us he can point out a person and ask the person how is he feeling or she feeling in the meeting, because it is more like an improv. So a connect with audience is something that is a gold mine for any Toastmaster of the day. Second thing I would like to tell, not to take much time, is to actually feel the vibes of the topic. That okay, there is no theme, so I can go like this. Friends, today we have a theme, and that is no theme. A little playfulness and feeling that vibe is something that and strengthens the enthusiasm in the audience as well and makes us play with the theme also. Now coming the to the introductory parts. So first I would like to really commend Joke Master for quoting her story, because it is always recommended that in case you don't have jokes, you can share a nice story. People can laugh upon that. But beware, if joke is not good, don't use that. You can use a nicer story just to laugh, just to get some giggles from the audience. Now coming to the table topic master, I would like to suggest the table topic master that he can repeat back certain things like the Madam President did in taking the guest introduction. So whenever a table topic speaker is speaking, the table topic master can just give a small response which can strengthen the connect with the table topic master, between table topic master as well as the guest or the speaker. Coming to evaluators, they did a fantastic job in evaluating. I must say the analytical part of their evaluation was really good, and it was actually a treat for me to see such a nice evaluation. However, I would like to recommend each and every of the evaluator one thing only, that we can use I statements more, like to quote an example from Toastmaster Renee's speech, Renee's evaluation. Instead of saying that speaker was referring to the notes, she can say like that. It can be said like that. I noticed that speaker was referring to some notes. So these things can be avoided. So I think using I statement will help in enhancing the valuation, which is also recommended in the pathways manual also to use I statements. Now, jumping up quickly to the auxiliary role players, I would say for language evaluator, the language of he can mention about this fact that language of the club is English. If anyone is using any other language, the person is requested to translate the phrase right away into English after that. And in the language evaluator report, the language evaluator can separately mention such avoidance of translation in order to highlight the things. Apart from this, I noticed one thing for parliamentarian, that parliamentarian was mentioning her was delivering her report properly, but she forgot to mention about the screen sharing thing that happened in the middle of the meeting when one of the auxiliary role players accidentally shared the screen. So although that was a technical glitch, but mentioning that also can grant more accuracy to the report, because parliamentarian is one of those auxiliary role players who have to be very, very observant. And in times of Zoom meetings, this role is enhanced a little more. All in all, I must say it was really a fantastic meeting, full of creativity and full of a lot of scope for enjoyment. And it has been an honor to evaluate this club meeting. Thank you. And with this, I hand over the screen back to Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Digant. Friends, right at the start, I promised you a meeting which was full of learning, which was full of value for everybody present here. And this is what we do each and every week. We put in effort to bring to you this meeting, and we hope that with every week we improve just a little every week. So if there's one thing I wish for you to take away from this meeting, it's that come to Toastmasters again. If you're a member already or if you're just joining, come to Toastmasters every week. Come to CDTM every Tuesday, and little by little you'll go really far with your personal and professional growth. That's a promise from me. And just to congratulate each and everyone who's participated in the meeting and made it a huge success, can I quickly please request each and every one of you to unmute yourself, turn on your video, and give a round of applause to each and every one. Everybody, please just turn on your video once. That you can hear the applause. Keep it going, keep it going. I want to see you. I know we are a little late, but that's how you show your appreciation, because we all need it from time to time. So with this, I must say that this has been very special for me personally. I hope it has been valuable for you as well. If you like the meeting so far, let us know in the chat and put in a yes. And in the meantime, I would request Toastmaster Gursifat, our president, to unmute herself, call in for the best role player voting, and conclude the meeting. Over to you, Toastmaster Gursifat.
Thank you, Toastmaster Aseem Gupta. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests once again. I request you to kindly vote for the best role player. The polls are on your screen. TMOD was DTM Aseem, TTM Toastmaster Harshvardhan Sharma, G Toastmaster Digan Mittal. Okay, till the polls are going, I would like to share my personal experience when I joined Toastmasters. It was back in April 2019. I was a very fearful, timorous, craven person who was so fearful in front of the audience. Even if I had to say one sentence in front of the audience, I used to think like 10 times. Gursifat, can you do it? No. I always had that self-doubt in me, which made me stop and which made me did not go to leadership positions as well. But then I got amazing friends here at Toastmasters, like Yash, who introduced me, Toastmaster Karanveer, Toastmaster Shipra, and also my mentors, Toastmaster Sparsh and Toastmaster Shipra. These people just guided me and pushed me forward. And it helped me win contest as well. Because I believe that two things are needed in order to go ahead in your life. First is consistency, second is a push. Whenever you have that thing, whenever someone is motivating you that you should go for it, they are seeing a potential in you. So definitely go for that. And constant brushing and constant pushing will definitely help you to succeed in your life. And on that note, I want to tell you all that we are having contest in the month of October. All of the members in good standing can participate. So I would like you all to participate in the contest. It's gonna be really amazing experience. I am telling you. Yeah, it's little bit you are nervous there, but when you participate, because participation is more than important than winning. So definitely participate, my dear Toastmasters. And also we are at the end of the month now. The renewals are ending. So whoever hasn't renewed yet, just go and renew the membership and continue the journey at your second home. And it's gonna be really amazing, the term. So we have the results finally. Thank you, Toastmaster Karanveer. So kindly unmute yourself. We have the results finally, and you can open your cameras as well. So the best speaker award. Guesses? Best speaker. Toastmaster Rajendra sir.
Nitin, Shivani, Shivani.
Well, it goes to our immediate past president, Toastmaster Rajendra Khare. Best table topic speaker. Toastmaster Kashish, Toastmaster Janvi, Toastmaster Clarence.
Janvi.
Janvi.
Well, it was a very tough competition between three people, but it goes to our guest, Manish. Best Evaluator Award.
Reni, Rishabh, Ankit.
It goes to
Karanveer को भूल गए Karanveer को भूल गए
Karanveer.
well, currently not this time. It goes to Toastmaster Rishabh. Best Auxi role player.
language evaluator
Pooja.
Well, it goes to someone who tickled our funny bones, Toastmaster Akriti Jain. Best Role Player Award.
Asim.
Yeah,
Digant.
so very mysterious theme this time. And thank you, Asim, for telling the importance also. It goes to DTM Asim Gupta. Congratulations, everyone. It was a great meeting. Looking forward to another meeting next Tuesday. We'll see you guys next time. Same venue, same time. Hasta la vista. I hereby officially end the meeting and I request the guests to stay for the briefing, which will be taken by Toastmaster Nitin Gautam, our VP membership. And those who want to network, we can stay here and we can discuss.
And also, I would request everyone to turn on their cameras for a group photo.
Yeah, sorry, I forget. Thank you, Karanveer, for reminding me. Please open your cameras.
Does someone have an interesting pose this time?
Yeah.
Maybe both thumbs up with the both.
Do the first thing that comes to your mind.
My Neanderthal avatar in of itself.
Okay, once again. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.